everybody. I'm Sophia Parola with the Garden State Film Festival, and here with me is filmmaker Ron. He has made the animated short film. Oh, I don't want to ruin the name. I might budge this name. Do you want to say it, Ron? What is your short film called?
It's Sisyphus Rocks It.
Sisyphus Rocks It. I should have been confident because that's what I was going to say. I don't want to embarrass myself. This is an amazing short film. Congratulations on not only making it, but getting accepted into the festival.
Thank you so much. It's a great honor.
Oh, it is an honor. I'd love to get into these interviews, but first I'd love for you to introduce yourself and then tell everybody watching a little bit about your film.
Oh boy, okay. I'm Ron Fleischer. I've been doing animation since I was a kid. I'm far from that right now. I'm 62 years old. I've worked in the animation industry for about the past 40 years. I've been involved with it. I've worked on everything from TV shows like the Powerpuff Girls and Pinky and the Brain and Animaniacs. I was a director on a lot of the Warner Brothers shows in the 90s. Worked on the Powerpuff Girl feature film, a bunch of other shows. And for the past 20 years, I've been a professor, actually associate professor at Columbia College Chicago. So I was a coordinator for the animation program, the traditional animation program, for a really long time. Right now, I just went back to teaching for a while, which I love doing a lot more than the administrative work. And part of the requirements of my job, besides teaching and doing college and community service, is to do like professional work. We all have to keep working professionally. So, if I was in the writing department, I'd have to be published. If I was, in science, I'd have to have things published in a journal, whatever. So I make silly cartoons that, I figured, they have to get peer reviewed. So I enter them into festivals for other people to see. And it's just like a wonderful incentive to keep doing these shorts about every 3 years. So, that's where I am now. I came out of the animation industry. I now prepare young people for the animation industry, and I continue doing what I love.
Oh my gosh, amazing. Congratulations on your amazing career.
No, thank you.
Humbly throwing in all these amazing shows and stuff that you've worked on. That's so great. So
I'll tell you, just to interrupt you to talk about one of the highlights of my career, without a doubt, was winning Best Animated Short at the 11th Garden State Film Festival in 2013.
So you came back, so you're familiar with the festival. And
I am. I'm coming home.
But you came home.
I'm coming home. My family's from New York and from Jersey. They're scattered all over Jersey, in Marlboro and Morganville and Newark and Cranberry and Brick Township and lots of other places. So,
oh my gosh, are you like aiming for another award this year?
No. Listen. I want to be clear about this. Like, I'm no genius, and this isn't like some great film. It's a silly little film. That's exactly what it's supposed to be, because look at the world around us right now, right? Mm-hmm. Everybody really could use a good laugh that isn't at each other's expense right now, right? Yes. So that's all I wanted to do. I wanted to get in, get out. The film's 3 minutes long. I want to make you smile. I want you to make you laugh and forget about all this stuff right now. As far as like, if you think it's some kind of great artistic achievement, I'll take those accolades. But I just want to make people happy, and I hope I do.
So was that the inspiration behind making Sisyphus Rocks It? You just wanted something short, funny, make people laugh, get a little escape on the crazy world we're living in right now?
Yeah, that and keeping my job for another 3 years.
So tell me, when did you come up with this, and how long did it take to animate?
Oh, I am so bad at coming up with ideas on my own, because I've had several other ideas. I had another script I was going to work on. But I come up with ideas that don't go anywhere, and I really wanted to lock onto this one because I wanted to explore what would happen. Well, Sisyphus, first of all, was a king, and he was really, really bad, and he was punished by the gods. He had to roll this boulder up this mountain every day, and every time he'd get close to the top, something would happen. It would roll back to the bottom. So for eternity, he had to do this task over and over again every day, right? So my idea was like, what would happen if like Sisyphus ever made it to the top? Like, what would happen? What he would do? And I played out so many different scenarios in my mind. And, I just came up with this one. If you look at all my films, they all have a little bit of dark humor to them, and This one is certainly no
This
exception.
one definitely does. I loved the
Yeah.
ending, wasn't expecting it.
Yeah, that's good. I just, yeah, and it has a little bit of a Monty Python ending, one of the ones I like, where you just kind of try to keep one-upping yourself. And, they also have like an ending resource they go to is if you can't figure out how to end it, just blow it up. So it doesn't quite blow up, but it does keep one-upping itself.
Wow.
And yeah, I hope people stick around through the credits because it doesn't end
Yes.
when the
One
credit
of the
starts.
best parts is the credits keep going on. I saw in the credits, among
Mhm.
all these other amazing things I saw, but that there were like 9 animators on this.
Well, to tell you the truth, yes, there were 9 animators on it. There were really only like 2 or 3. And then what I do is I hire some of my students who recently graduated to work on the film so they get professional experience. So some of them might have worked on like 1 shot or 2 shot, but I wanted to give them screen credit,
Well, that's
So
great.
I overcredit people a little bit, but it really was just, a few people working on it with me doing all of the final cleanup line work and all the digital compositing and working on the score and storyboards and all the other aspects of production. So it was fun to work on. But kudos to my old boss who I worked with for years at Star Tunes, John McClanahan, who animated. I was going to say choreographed. I choreographed all of the dance sequences in it, and John animated all the dance sequences. And I had a few other my friends help out with it, but it turned out great. I'm really happy with it.
Yeah, you should be. It came out awesome. So what goes into like storyboarding something like this? Do you have to, I don't even know the first thing about storyboarding animation.
Yeah,
What
well,
is that process?
basically, yeah, storyboarding are illustrated panels that dictate the action from shot to shot, right? Now, the reason why we have to do this in animation, not like live action filmmaking, God bless them, I love live action filmmaking, but I dare any live action filmmaker to make films the way that animators make films, which means that we can't like set up our shot, right? And then do a master shot with the camera and then move the camera around to the close up medium shot and do different angles. We don't have the luxury or time or affordability to animate all these things from different angles. So we have to know what each shot is going to consist of and all the action within each shot to the frame, which is crazy. You tell any live action filmmaker that they have to not only pre-edit their film, but cut it pretty much to the frame to know where all this is going to time out in advance. That's why animators have to do that. We really have to build a blueprint for our films through these illustrated panels that show us what the characters are doing in each shot. And from there, the animators work on posing out the animation and doing the rough animation and cleaning it up, all based on those storyboards and the timing of the story reel, which is basically all of these panels edited together to reflect the actual timing of the final film.
Wow, not an easy task, it sounds like.
That's a lot.
And
No, that's something I used to.
how long did that take for Sisyphus Rocks It?
Oh, well, the storyboards go pretty quickly. It was all in my head, and it took a little bit more time for the dance sequences, but that goes pretty quickly. It's more like because I have a full-time job, it's finding the time to work on these things, and so and balancing these things out. So I put out a film about every 3 years because I'm up for a review cycle at school every 3 years to make sure that my tenure is approved for
Right.
another 3 year cycle. So I know how to work the system and also get my creative rocks off at the same time, and hopefully make a few people laugh.
Yeah, so I mean, it sounds like obviously you're a teacher, so and you put a lot of your graduated students in the credits and give them work. So, what's some advice you can give other animators or filmmakers who want to, go in the same path that you have?
Oh, well, first of all, you have to be very dedicated and passionate about what you want to do, right? To the point where you're not going to take no for an answer and you're going to put a lot of time into your work and craft because animation takes a lot of practice. And, you could have great drawing skills, but to understand and develop animation, we have a 4 year program. We offer a BA and a BFA at Columbia College, Chicago for our students. And we have internships lined up for students. Sometimes we have this one person who's in charge of finding internships and stuff for students. We have a lot of great contacts in LA. So, anyone who really wants to study animation and go into the field, find any great school, that you can go to. It doesn't have to be Columbia, but I certainly would recommend it. And apply the kind of passion to your craft that you would for anything that you love to do most in this world. Because when you're doing animation, you're going to have to sacrifice part of your social life and doing other things to really kind of like get into it. And then when you're looking for a job out there, you have to have a good portfolio, a demo reel. You have to know what people are looking for. You have to know what to say and how to act and where on a job interview, right? And you have to be persistent and not give up. My students swing from job to job to job after they graduate. It's not like, don't expect to land a job at Nickelodeon or Cartoon Network or any of those big studios right off the bat. You might get an internship at Nickelodeon and then move over to DreamWorks for a show. And then when that show ends, you go somewhere else on another show. But the point is, don't give up. If this is something you really want, think about relocating to LA and be persistent about it. If you have to find something else to support your income at the time, then do that. But don't give up at the first time that somebody says no. There's a lot of different ways to apply for jobs, and there's a lot of ways to work your way up the ladder at different studios or to bump your way up from one studio to the next. But be persistent, be passionate, be very likable, and don't give up.
Wonderful, wonderful advice. I hope everybody can like save that forever, because I'm going to take that. You don't just have to be an animator to take that advice. So thank you. Thank you for that. Yeah. Wonderful advice for an artist. And we're wrapping up the interview, but I do want to ask you two more questions. The first is something we talked about before the interview, the score in this film. Can you tell us a little bit about the score and how we can see?
Yeah. The score is really amazing. And people take for granted, I think, these days that most of these scores are electronic. They certainly have been in all of my films up until this one, where I came into an amazing opportunity. One of my old colleagues and friends from my Columbia days when I was a student at Columbia College in the early 80s, Andy Hill, who went on to be a big producer of soundtracks for Disney's Lion King and other big Disney movies and stuff. He has an international program that teaches students scoring for film. And this was in Sofia, Bulgaria. And he contacted me seeing if any of my students needed scores for their films. And I said, well, Andy, we work with our own music students in the schools to do that. But I have a film that needs a score. And he put me in touch with Juan Ferrero, who did an amazing job with the score. And up until like October, right? Like a couple of months ago, because my film was finished like way over a year ago. Up until a month ago, I just had this electronic score that sounded like a real orchestra. Let's face it, these days the samples were amazing. But part of his educational learning process was he was supposed to record this in front of a huge orchestra, but it never happened because of the pandemic. You can't get 116 people into the same place at the same time for this. So like a year later, it finally happened in October. He said, look, we shot a video of this. Can I use this as publicity? And I watched it and I said, this is amazing to see 116 like really, really talented musicians in this super orchestra, performing this serious score to my silly little film. I mean, watching the video to this is like so much more impressive than my film on its own. So I really encourage anyone, if somehow, Garden State can provide a link, because the video's on Vimeo for you guys to see it. It is really, truly a joy to watch.
116 people. That is amazing. And your film made it happen. Do you know what the title of the Vimeo video is? Is it Sisyphus Rocks It, or?
Yeah, the title of the Vimeo video is Sisyphus Rocks It Orchestra Recording.
Okay, awesome. So even if we don't have a link, Sisyphus Rocks It Orchestra Recording.
Yeah.
That is amazing. And last question for you, Ron. I mean, it's been wonderful talking to you, but I have to bring it back to the Garden State Film Festival. What brought you back? Why do you love the festival so much?
It's like I said, it's home. It's even more home than Chicago, which is my home. It's shown more films of mine than Chicago, which is my home. My home is where I live, but they say home is where the heart is, and so New York and Jersey. I've always entered my films into Garden State Film Festival. They don't always get accepted, but that's fine. I really want to support you guys. I love what you do. And, God bless you. This is what, your 20th year now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes. That's awesome.
Amazing. And so many
amazing.
People came to the first year of the Garden State Film Festival, and they're still back this year. So I'm so happy that you say it's like home, and it really is. They're like a family there. So thank you for continually to support us and submit to us.
Yeah, very few festivals I consider home, and Garden State is certainly one of them.
Amazing. Well, Ron, it has been truly a pleasure talking to you and hearing all the wonderful things you have done. And Sisyphus Rocks It is definitely one of them. It's an amazing animation. I can't wait for audiences at the festival to see it. Let me tell everyone how they can. It will be playing at the Jersey Shore Art Center and Palia Theater Saturday, March 26th in the film block 12 to 2 p.m. So we can all enjoy it as much as I have, and I'm sure as much as you have. And thank you again for taking some time out to talk to us about it.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you for this opportunity.
Thanks. Have a great day.